Hello guys, and welcome back. In the last video we managed to create our user and save the user, create our user in our authentication here. Now in this video we have to save the user data to Firestore here, so that later on we can use this user data anywhere in our application. Okay, so we need to have a database of the user image, username, all those things. Okay, so here we only created the user. Now we need to save the data. So let's go back to our code. So now we need to save this user that we have created. We have signed up. Okay, so let's go on ahead and do that method. So let's go to the authentication provider. So this was a create user with email and password. Just below it here, let's create another method to save the user. So let's say void save user data to Firestore, like that. So let's have some required argument here. So let's required first we're just going to need a user model, user model. Let's also require a file. So this one can be nullable. So let's say file image. Let's import this, and then next let's require function. This one will be on success. Let's also require another function. This will be our on fail. Okay, so that's it. And then let's go with our method. So let's make this method asynchronous. Then inside here now, let's have a try catch block. Okay, so let's say try, and then on Firebase exception dot catch e, and then here on so here on failure here, what we can do is we can call our on fail this one. Okay, so let's say first let's set the is loading. Remember, when we are starting to create the user here, we are setting is loading to true. Okay, so here let's take it back to false, and then let's notify the changes, and then let's call our on fail function here. Okay, so if we wanted to return this fail message here, we can, where is that function here on fail, we can give it to take a string. Okay, and then here we can just say e dot to string. Now we are passing the failure message. Okay, the error message. Okay, so this is what will happen on error. Now inside here we need to create to save the user. So first let's check if the file image is not now. Okay, so here we first want to check if the user has selected an image. So after we check this, let's check if file image does not equal to now. If our image does not equal to now, let's upload the image to Firestore storage. Okay, we are going to upload it to Firestore storage. Okay, and then after that we are going to set this user model which is coming. We are going to update that image. Okay, so let's go on ahead and create the method to upload the image to Firestore. We are going to reuse this method, so let's create a separate method just after this one down here. Okay, so let's say store image to to storage like this, and return the download URL. Okay, that's what we want to do here. Okay, so let's create a future method. So let's say future. Here we want to return a string which is a download URL. So let's say store file image to storage, something like that. So here now let's require something. So let's require a string which will be our reference to where this image is going to be stored. So let's come down here, let's say required string, let's just say it as ref, and then let's also require a file, this one, which will be our file. That's it. And then down here let's create our method. So here we need to say upload task, like that. Upload task, this will be equals to Firebase storage, this one dot ref, and then inside here we're going to go not inside actually, here dot reference dot child, and then the child we are going to put our reference, this reference that is coming up here. Okay, and then we are going to put the file, which will be our file. Okay, like that. So after that, and then we're going to say task snapshot, it's going to equal to await. So this, we need to add an async keyword here, should be asynchronous. So here we are going to await for upload task, this one which is up there. Okay, so after we await for this, and then we're just going to get the string which is our download URL, which will be equal to await task snapshot dot need to say dot ref dot get download URL. Okay, so there is our download URL, and then we just need to return the download URL now, like that. Okay, so this is how we are going to upload. Once we get that image, we put the reference where we want it to go, then we are going to upload it and put that file here, and then after we call task snapshot, and then we await for this to be done, and then we just get the download URL from the task snapshot and return the download URL. Okay, so once this is done, let's go back here, and then here we're just gonna say await store image to Firestore, and then we need to put our reference here and the file. So the file, you know that we have a file image, which is this one. If it is not now, so let's copy it and paste it here. We have already checked if it's not now, so we know it's not now here. So let's close it out, and then let's put our reference here. So the image, the user image, where do we want to store it? So let's create that reference. So let's put the string, then the $, and then this curly brackets. So we want this to go into, let's create a constants dot we can say user images. We want it to go to this location, and then let's put a slash, and then we now after the user image we want to go to this image's ID. So we can say UID, this ID which we already saving here. Okay, so this ID we actually need to save it right after. See this ID, there's one thing we're not doing. So here, once we create the user with email and password, before we return here, let's save that ID. Okay, so let's say this UID is going to equal to user credential dot user dot UID, like this. Okay, let's just have add a now check here. Okay, so this ID we are setting it like that. So what we can do is let's get this notified dataset change from here, or we can just copy it. Then let's also notify here that this ID on top now is being set after we have created the user. Okay, so that now in here we can use this ID, or if we want, since by the time we are coming here we already have this ID, we can get it from this user model. Okay, but since we are setting it up here, when we create the user we can just use this ID on top here. Okay, so we want to go to this ID and then store that image there. Okay, so this is our reference. It will go to user image and then inside our ID and then store that image there. That's our reference. So let's just create this user images constant. So let's copy it, then go to constants. So here let's create another one, static, maybe let's put a space, static const string, let's paste it here, which will be equal to this. Okay, so we have our constant. Let's go back to authentication provider, and then there is our reference. Okay, so once we have gotten this, we want to assign it to, we get the string from what this is returning. So here we will say string image URL will be equals to this. And then once we get this, we will update what is coming from the user model here. Okay, so let's come down here. Once this has happened, down here we are going to say user model, which is this. Let's see if we have a user model on top. Okay. So we have this user model. Okay, but we don't want to update that one on top. We want to update this. Okay, this user model is what we want to update, which is inside here. Okay, so maybe we can rename this to current user. Yeah, maybe just like this, current user. So here we're going to say current user dot image is going to equal to this image URL. Okay, So now this is updated, it's equal to image URI. Okay, great. Now after we have done this outside here, now we also need to update the other things that we need. Maybe let's also update the created that, so we can get also current user dot created that. Now here we can also set date time. It's date time date time dot now, sorry, now, and then now like this, and then let's say microsecond since imports dot to string. Okay, since we know this is a string. Okay, so we have updated that, and then now after we updated these two values, now we can set the user model, which is on top here. We can update it now. Okay, so let's also update that user model. We can say user model dot that user model is going to be equal to the current user. Okay, so we're updating that one on top with what is coming here, so that it gets the updated values. So once we have done this, now here let's save data to Firestore. Okay, so here let's say await Firebase Firestore dot collection. So let's say collection, so it's a constant dot we want to put it inside the users collection, then dot document, it should be doc. So here we want to put it inside the UID, so of course we'll get the same UID, so say UID, and then here we are just going to set, what we are going to set is current user dot to map. That's our method. Okay, like that. So let's also create this constant. Let's go to the constants. You can copy that, then paste it here. Let's say users, copy and paste it here. So let's come back here. So let's just put some space here. So we are saving inside the users in our user ID, and then we are saving our data. Okay, so right after we save this, now we can call on success. Okay, and then after we call this, now we can also do this. We can stop the loading and notify the changes. Okay, and then that's all we need to do to this method. Okay, so once this is done, we are calling in success and stop the loading. Okay, so this is our method to save. Let's just put the comment there, save user data to Firestore. Alright, so this is our method. I hope I wasn't too fast. So now we just need to call this method inside our authentication provider. So now let's go back to the sign up screen. So here inside this method, after if the credential is not equal to now, first let's go our user model is equals to user model. Okay, so let's bring all this, let's format this. You can put a comma there and bring it like that. So for the UID, you know that is a user credential dot user dot UID, can put a now check there. Then the email, the password, the name and email, we get it from there. The image, we put an empty string for now, and they created that. We are putting an empty string for now, because inside here, remember, this is when we are getting the image, and then this is when we are putting the created that. Okay, so let's come back here. So after we initialize this, now down here we need to call our user credential. So maybe instead of calling this here, let's call it up here so that we can reuse it. Okay, so maybe up here, let's say final auth provider. This should be auth provider. Let's say context dot read. We can say authentication provider. Okay, now we can copy this, and instead of doing all of this, we can paste it here. Okay, so even here now we can say auth provider dot save user to Firestore. Okay, like that. So let's also format these. All right, now here the current user, we are going to put the user model, and then the file image, it's what are we calling it up here, this final file image. So let's come down and paste it here. Then on success, it's a function. We can decide what to do here. Then on fail, we know that this takes an error, brings out an error, which we can print. So here we can say show snack bar for now. Show snack bar. Then here we can say error dot to string. Okay, and then that's what we are going to show, an error. And then on success, sign out the user and navigate to the login screen. Okay, sign out the user and navigate to the login screen. That's what we want here, so that he may now sign in. Yeah, I think that's what we need to do here. Okay, so if it's successful, we want to sign him out and then navigate to the login screen. And also here we want to reset this form. Okay, so we are going to say form key. So let's say form key the current state, current state the reset. Okay, so first we will reset the form and then we will navigate here. So first, before navigate, we will sign out the user and navigate to the login screen. Okay, so here we need to create the method to sign out this user. Okay, and also we can show the snack bar that successfully signed up. So let's paste that here. You can say sign up successful. Okay, like that. And then we can now navigate this user. So let's create a method to sign out this user so that now they can sign into their account. Okay, so let's go back to authentication provider. Then maybe down here we can create down here we can create the method to sign out the user. So let's say sign out user. Here we can just say void sign out user. So this method, let's also take it as asynchronous. So this is just gonna say await Firebase auth sign out sign out like this. So we're just going to call this method when signing out the user. So let's go back here, and then after we do this, and then let's just say chat provider, auth provider dot sign out user. So let's await. This could be asynchronous, or we don't even need to await here. We can put the async, it's already there. So let's just sign out like that, and then let's say navigator dot pop context. Okay, so actually I think we need to await for this to happen. That's what we can sign out. So let's go back to this method, and then let's say let's make it a future void. Okay, then let's come here and then await. We can put an asynchronous keyword here. Okay, so since this is giving us an error, we can cut it, then say dot when completed, then navigate. Okay, so that's it. Think we can test it like this. Okay, and then we'll see if we'll be able to create the user like this. Okay, so what we're gonna do is to go back to the browser. Let's minimize this, and then we need to delete this user. Okay, let's delete. Okay, the user is deleted. Let's start the application. So hopefully we'll get to this, then we'll see if we can save this user in Firestore. So let's run the application. Alright, the application has started. Let's see what we're gonna have. So let's create the user again. So I'm not gonna select an image. Actually I can, because there's nothing in the gallery, but since this is an Android emulator, I can just take a photo here. So let's take it. So this will be the image that I'm going to save. Then now we didn't do something else to test if the loading is working. So before I click here, I'm going to, let's minimize this, to sign up screen. and then here on the button, where is that? This sign up button, here. Let's check something here. So let's watch the authentication provider. So let's say final auth provider is equals to context dot watch. So instead of it, we are calling watch because we want to watch for changes. So let's say authentication provider, and then like that. So what we want to watch here is loading. Okay, so here now, if I come down here on this button, I want to check if authentication provider node is loading. I want to show the constant or secular progress indicator. In the else, I want to show this button. Okay, so now that I've done these changes, let's restart, because I want to click here when it starts to load. I don't want to show that button. Okay, so let's go on ahead and do it again. Let's enter our password, and then let's see now what happens. Or first, let's also select an image. So we can bring up, I don't think there's even something that we're printing here. So let's click here. Okay, now it's loading. You can see this. Okay, there is loading as true. So it's still true, which means okay. So we got the toast here, which means we have signed in and it has logged us off, and then we are back to sign up screen. Okay, so let's see in our browser. So let's hot restart. Let's minimize. You can see that the user is created, and then let's go to Firestore. Also, we have created under user and our user ID, created that, our email, image URL, our name, our UID. Great. Then let's go to storage. You can see it's under user images, under our ID, and then there is the image. Okay, so this is the image here, but what's the name of the image? Actually, the name is to our ID. Okay, so it's stored, this is the file image which is stored under our ID. Okay, so the file image is here, and but we should see this image. Let's click on it. So let's open. Okay, I don't know why it's still a file. We need to see this as an image. Okay, so let me close that, and then let's go to our Firestore. Let's see if we can see that image. We know it's saved, but if we edit this and then copy this, Control O, I'm going to copy that, then I'm going to open another here and paste it inside here. Click enter. So it's taking me to download it, which I don't want, because I want to see it as an image. If I open it, it's opening like this, and then if I open it, you can see. Then let's just see if we can open it with maybe this. So it's unable to open. Okay, so let's see where we're making a mistake here. So we need this as an image. Okay, so let's go back to our code. So on the reference here, where is our authentication? On the reference here at the end here, we need to add dot jpg. If it's like this, now we know it's an image. Okay, so what we're gonna do is to delete everything here. So let's delete this. Let's say users, delete. Then let's go to authentication. Let's also delete this account. Let's start afresh. Now that we have done this change, let's hot restart. Okay, we have restarted. Let's create again. Say Dexter at gmail.com. There's our password, and then let's now select an image. Okay, let's sign up. Okay, sign up successful. Let's go back to the browser. Let's reload. There is our new user, Firestore. There is our image. Let's go to storage. Under user ID. So this was the other old one, and then this is the new one. So here you've seen it says .jpg. Then let's click on it. Let's open it. So it has opened in my other window. Now you can see that it's that same image. Okay, so now it's the browser can tell that it's an image because of this JPG. But still, even without putting this JPG, it can read if we open it in the image viewer. But let's keep it like this so that we know that it's an image. Even from the browser here, we know that it's an image. Okay, so we can go ahead and delete this one because we are using this one. Okay, so I think let's end our video right here. Now we are able to create the user with email and then also save the user in Firestore. Okay, which is great. Now in the next video we need to log in and then save this user data locally. Okay, thank you guys, and see you in the next video.